Alright, the Eagles are set to face the Commanders in a tie-breaking NFC Championship game. We won the first match, and they barely squeezed out the second. Now with almost all of our roster back, we set out to finish what we started by sending the Commanders back to Maryland. How can we do it? Let's talk about it. Hopefully there's no backup quarterbacks this time to bail the Commanders out. Though Jalen may be roughed up after last game, he's made it clear he's playing.
Yeah, I've just been progressing, taking it a day at a time. Was able to participate today and be involved and stuff, so just taking it a day at a time.
For better or worse, we'll have our guy. And honestly, he seems good enough. Good enough seems to be Jalen's trademark throughout the playoffs, with a 75% completion rate, averaging at 129.5 yards a game. His stat line has sent the media into a frenzy as they refuse to accept that Jalen can throw precisely if he has to, or hand it off. Personally, I trust him to do what is necessary to win, whether it be passing, rushing, or handing it off. That being said, I would expect them to hand the ball off more, as Saquon has been otherworldly. Last game he ran for 205 yards on 26 attempts, finishing the game with 2 touchdowns at a 7.9 yard per rush average. While Barkley may be the golden idol most games, that doesn't mean the rest of the offense has gone unnoticed. Kellen Moore has activated AJ and Devontae whenever necessary, as proven in the Steelers and Cowboys games. This week our receiving duo faces off against Benjamin St-Juste and Marshawn Lattimore. In their last playoff game, the Commanders' defensive unit finished with 5 turnovers, 3 of those being interceptions. This leaves us with the question, will Jalen perform in a similar way to Goff? In the first Commanders game where Hurts wasn't injured early, the Eagles' receiving duo combined for 94 yards and 0 touchdowns. If you add in tight end Dallas Goedert, that number bumps up to 155. I'd say they would need more receiving yards than that to win, but just last game the Eagles' receivers totaled 128 yards, barely sliding by the Rams. Our rush is something the Commanders will definitely have to focus on, as they have been awful against it this year, allowing 4.9 yards per rush, ranked 30th in the league. If you're worried about our rushing attack, just look at how we started off the last game against them. Last time we faced off, they let up over 100 yards against Saquon in the first quarter, thanks to our O-line's efficiency. Their biggest threats to our rush were linebackers and tackles due to Kenny Pickett's lack of scrambling. We are almost guaranteed, however, to see Jayden Daniels scrambling from our defensive line if they play similar to the way they did last week. They finished the game with 5 sacks and 3 fumbles. Vic Fangio decided to put on a show for Eagles fans. What's even better about this game is Carter may be able to replicate his success this week as he faces off against backup O-lineman Trent Scott. Not only is Trent bad at run blocking, but he's also facing off against one of the best D linemen in the league. Speaking of backups, our backup Jalix Hunt is showing out after some development. He was expected to have little to no impact this year, but has pieced together a decent resume, sacking quarterbacks and stopping running backs. Daniels is no running back though. He proved that last week, dropping 38 points, 299 yards, and 2 touchdowns at a 122.9 passer rating against the Lions. Though it was snowing, we allowed 2 touchdowns and 324 passing yards against Matt Stafford and the Rams. If the Eagles want to win, we need to shape up defensively. The matchups to watch out for this week are Burks, Slay, and Mitchell if he's healthy, versus Terry McLaurin, Dyami Brown, and Zach Ertz. Terry and Dyami just dropped 185 yards and a touchdown combined. But I'm more curious about Ertz versus Burks, as Ertz clenched the last game against us with a 2-point conversion. Former Eagle Olamide Zaccheaus also torched us last game, as he finished with 2 touchdowns. It's safe to say our defense will have its hands full, but with proper containment and set edges, we can minimize the Daniels threat. That's all the info I have for this week. Like, subscribe, see ya.